Welcome to another episode of That Crazy Triangle Guy. Today I want to talk about Bitcoin halving price prediction. So we have we're looking at the Bitcoin US dollar index on the weekly time frame. And way over here on the right is our approximate new next halving, uh, whatever, March, April, something like that, of 2024. And these other blue lines are the previous halvings. Um, so let's go back to the first one. Now, this price prediction is really very simple and clear cut here. Let's look at what the price was at the first halving. I've placed this yellow dotted line, at the price of the first halving, and you follow it back, and it's the same price as this height here, which is, if this was on a daily chart, it would be clear to see, but from the previous all-time high, we dipped down, came back up, and so that's the peak of the second high at that point. That's the price of our halving. This other purple line is, well, let's just turn it on and you can see what it is. It is the top of the weekly Gaussian channel. Now, what's interesting is where the top of the weekly Gaussian channel, you take that line, where it hits the weekly Gaussian channel, the top again, is where we start our parabolic run. Now, let's that's the first halving. Let's go to the second halving. There's our blue line, marks our halving event. I've drawn the yellow line at that price, follow it back. What's the level? From our all-time high, we came up, we came down, and it's the second high. And the lavender line is actually at the same point, and it's the top of the weekly Gaussian channel. You follow that line over here to where it hits the top of the weekly Gaussian channel. And what point is that? It's where we start our parabolic run. That was 2015, 2016. Let's go to 2020 here. And this is our third halving. I've drawn my yellow line at that price, follow it back. It's kind of, we came up our all-time high, we did come down, had another top here, came down, had another top here. Anyway, third top. But the price is exactly the same as this level here. Now the weekly Gaussian channel, the lavender line, top of that, you bring that all the way over here to where it touches the channel again, and that's where we start our parabolic run. So here we are in 2020, 2024 we will be, and let's get these words out of the way. So we had our all-time high here, came down, kind of came back up, came down, kind of came back up. I think that this is a reasonable height that based on what we saw on the other. I mean, it's either here or up here, probably. So it's either 48 or almost around 52 is what I'm looking at. 48 or 52. I'm getting 48 seems more. Either one, I don't know. 48 looks more in line with what I saw in the previous charts, just from an aesthetic view. Um, so come over here to the halving, and boom, there's our price target for the halving. 48,000, maybe 52. Now, the lavender line at the top of the Gaussian channel. Oh, I don't know where it's going to hit the top of the Gaussian channel again because it's not there yet, but somewhere over here. I don't know. Could be over here, could be over here, but I'm guessing maybe around June, summer. Summer of 24 is where we start our parabolic run from there. Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see where the channel is headed. So, now, where are we at right now? Currently, we're way down here. We got to get all the way up here by April. So a lot of people are thinking, "Oh man, we're going to dump down here, way down here." Well, if we dump way down here, we're going to have a pretty significant pump to get up there. So I think we better start moving back up this way. Now, you see these little white X's here, and so let's turn this off because it's causing me problems. Um, this is just for fun, and we try to predict things here, but you cannot predict what's going to happen. But it's fun to look at the charts, and a lot of times we might be right, a lot of times we might be wrong. So here's my this little white X where I thought, hey, you know what? Looks like we're coming up here, and I think we're about ready to bust up to here. But we didn't. Look what happened. We went the other way. We went the other way here, and I don't remember exactly what led me to believe we were coming up here. We were, well, I'm sure we were consolidating. We were consolidating and had to bust out either way. We chose, or certain entities chose for us, that the direction would be downward. Now, as that turns out, we discovered something else, which was really, really good. Because I've always had too much hopium here, and been looking at the wrong triangles, like this green line here, for instance, that my cursor is on. This is the trend line from January to March to June, all those contact points. Oh, that was the deal. That makes sense right here. I was looking at for a breakout from this large triangle that we were making, and up and up and up this way. That was the wrong triangle. I did the same thing probably back here somewhere, looking at the wrong triangles we were forming. And zooming out last week, I realized that this is the triangle over here, this much larger triangle in the reddish color. Now, I guess I'll just stay on a weekly. I went over this in a previous video, but I'm going to go over it again. That red line, you can see that this red line goes way, 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 way back here. And in fact, the points that it contacts, oh, okay, this is 2015-16. I was thinking this was the Corona dump. It's not. That's over here. Um, so it contacts the Corona dump exactly. It contacts the March dump exactly, and it contacts where we're at exactly. There are also times where we've come below it briefly, like here with the FTX collapse. Back here in 2015, 2016, but it's a trend line of support and resistance. Um, and it goes all the way back here. And interestingly enough, it starts at this at the first all-time high here, back in 2011. And it has many points of contact here and acts as support and resistance at many points along Bitcoin's journey here. That's the ultimate trend line that we should be focusing on, and what we're focusing on now. And as you can see, the red trend line here, which is, do I really need this yellow line here? I don't know why that's there. It's red line, which I also have this parallel channel drawn over it to give us a range of a price range that we can be trading in. So we're coming to the end of this triangle right here, and we usually don't go all the way to the very end of them, which would be the end of this year, but quite possibly we could trade in this range between 30, 31.6 and where we're at now, up and down still all the way to the end of the year before we finally break out. I'm assuming to the upside, but here we were wrong. But we were wrong in a right way, in a good way, because it opened up our eyes to what's really going on. Now, currently, because this is a trend line, it's a trend line of support and resistance, and we, have traded above and below it. So could we fall below it? It's possible, sure, but how far? That's why I've drawn these other two lines here, this thin red one and this white one. The white one goes back to our FTX dump here before we pumped in January. And as you can see, it contacts these points pretty good. The direction of these lines uh, matches up with the price action. Now, the second red line, what the hell does that match up with? I don't really know. You know what? I think it just matches up with my arrow. Is all it does, I believe. No, I don't know. It must match up with something. But that's irrelevant right now. um, so this red arrow, I'm gonna have to. We're gonna have to leave here and go into a smaller time frame. One not that small. So I was getting really depressed making this video because I thought, man, oh man, over the weekend we were just kind of going sideways and we were falling out. I have this, you can see this green parallel channel, which we started holding support here in, although we did fall out. Looked like we might be holding support, but no, we fell out of that. So we have this other thicker green parallel channel, which contacts our the low to which we dumped to initially, and hits here and here, and you can see we are it's price action is staying within this channel, so that's pretty good. But towards the end of the weekend, it's just coming down here, coming down here. I'm like, yeah, holy crap! What's it? Come on already! And then we just, as I was drawing lines and looking at the charts, we still had this nice little pump going on. So I'm like, oh, thank God, there's hope. Oh boy! So this red arrow here is the distance at the base of this triangle. So we are trading in this parallel channel, but we're also making triangles in here. And we could come all the way up to the top of this triangle, come back down, keep bouncing around within the triangle here, and fall out. Now, that's a reasonable possibility because the line that it would be falling to is this red line here, this curved red line, and that represents the mean band of the weekly Gaussian channel. So this would not be out of the question, and it wouldn't be the end of the world if it happened. It would just be that we're following here, testing it for support, and more than likely get a significant bounce from there. This upper red one is the top of the weekly Gaussian channel. Now to the upside, I have a bunch of other, excuse me, bunch of other arrows here. The purple one coincides with the move out of this ascending triangle here, and the yellow one coincides with the move out, a short move out of this symmetrical triangle based on this distance here in the middle. The blue dashed line happens to be the top of the 5-day weekly Gaussian channel, and that's significant to some people, so I have that there. I mean, it is a significant point of interest, so that would bring us back above there. And this green arrow is the same as the red arrow, but to the upside. And if we broke out from the top of this ascending triangle, that would bring us up here, back into this steeper sloping parallel channel, which I left here, even though we fell out, because I'm hoping that we do end up back in there and see action trading up and down in this range. So we'll just see what happens. These other green lines up here represent the daily Gaussian channel, the top, the mean band, or the bottom, the mean band, and the top of that. The white dashed line here is 28.8, which is a significant level of support and resistance that we fell below here on our crash. I do still believe this is a big bear trap. Big bear trap, and we're about to pump out of it any day. This is the last one of the, hopefully the last shakeout before we start seeing significant moves upwards, and I do believe that's coming. We're the whole market's completely oversold. So I went over the halving predictions and current price action a little bit. Here's the total three. Um, Now this is very interesting. This is just showing our overall, generally where we're at. And total three. Let me change the color of this. We've been trading in this parallel channel since the inception of this uh, this total three, whatever it is. Um, so we've been up and down in this channel. You can see in the bottom portion of it, we traded in the upper portion of it here, back down in the bottom portion of it here. And we're ready for our next move upwards through the channel here, up into the upper portion. Now, when we did come off the bottom, here's a kind of like a head and shoulders pattern. These things aren't really clear. This one is more clear where we're at today. Um, Over the course of the past year and a half, not quite a year and a half, but we're making a clear head and shoulders pattern here. It's kind of fuzzy at the end here. And so we're on the verge of breaking back upwards here. It's just, will it be today? Will it be next week? Come on, let's get going. Sideways, everybody's very, very bored with this sideways action, but that's what happens before we break out. Um, so when we did break out from this reversal pattern, the bottom reversal pattern here, we went up. When you a reversal pattern is typically like a you're switching from a downward parallel channel to an upward parallel channel, or downward price range trading, which I are just parallel channels to me, into an upwards one. So that I drew this green one to represent that move. Um, it's not really a lot of up and down price action within it, but it contains the price action. And I copied that and pulled it over to where we're at currently, and matched it up with the price action here. And you can see that price action follows the top of this as support here. And you can just see the price action following these lines. So I do believe that we've come to the end of this white parallel channel that is containing the entire total three market trading range. Um, and our next move is upwards here. Now, this dashed white line here is the neckline of the parallel channel. So once we break that, is where we'll see some big moves upwards. Anyway, okay, so that's what I'm looking at. What are these other things I got over here? Uh, Total market cap. Wait a second. Are we on the? Let me go to the daily here. Why do I have that curved line? Are we going through the daily Gaussian channel? Oh, we are. Oh, look at that. Okay. Um, So on the total 3, we are trading at the bottom of the daily Gaussian channel. And that's what those green lines are that I have drawn. The red lines are the weekly Gaussian channel. So we're also just below the bottom of the weekly Gaussian channel. We've fallen through and ready to break up through it again. And where we're at with regard to those channels is also is good because we don't stay below the weekly. We're below it right now, and we're you don't stay below there long. You go back up through it. So a move up here would be expected. And I see now that we're breaking back into the bottom of the daily Gaussian channel, which is very, very good news too. Look at so we're attempting to get back through it and stay above it. This is nice. I'm happy to see this, and it gives more evidence to the belief that we will come back up here and move back up through the daily Gaussian channel here and back up to the at least the mean band of the weekly. Yeah, the more I look at this, we got big moves coming. Just we're on the verge of big moves as we move back up through these channels. You don't go below them and stay like way below them unless you're in a significant downtrend in a bear market. That's not where we're at. Um, okay, so I've rambled on long enough, but I got one more thing here. What is that? It's just, I don't know what it is. Our daily Gaussian channel on Bitcoin's way up here. Oh, so that's significant too. Oh, we're on the 5 day. Why am I on the 5 day here? I don't know what I was looking at. Anyway, oh, maybe I was looking at this. We are still on, we're at 10.71. This is going to change. It's going to fluctuate as the day closes. But so we're right on the edge of breaking out here and currently pointed downwards. But typically, it's not the direction of the indicator, of the stochastic indicator, that predicts the price action. It's the price action that predicts this. Yeah. So when we do start expanding from this low, this is going to turn upwards more than likely because the expansion will be upwards. We're still, that's the other thing, we're still at extreme lows on the 5 day and on the weekly on these indicators. So we're looking for a big move. And typically, when this expansion starts happening, the move is already being made. So that's just it can't be much more than a week or two away. Um, so that's what we're looking at there. And again, let's go to the daily, turn our Gaussian channel on. I'm probably going to run out of time here. So if we get cut off, I'm just going to let it be at that and say goodbye to you now. We've come significantly down out of the daily Gaussian channel. And if you look at past price action, that just doesn't happen. This is a huge trap. And when we do fall this far below, you see a big move upwards through it again. Big move upwards through it again here. Even here in the FTX collapse, we started moving upwards back through it, and then boom. Of course, it took a couple months. Now here you do see significant drops below it, but we were in a severe bear market there with a lot of things going on with this